Right, good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a good one. Right, so as we come out of our cryo sleep and heavy panting, because you know, you always do that when you wake up in the morning, we are gonna go do the usual quick checks. Now, I've got the base extension breathable. I can go in there and take my helmet off, so I'm really pleased about that. So we're just going to do the usual checks. We got batteries flat upstairs, 3.5, we're good for that. So we're just going to run through here. Let's make sure things are not going to explode on us while we're out and about. Now I know for a fact these tanks are probably empty because I've been filling up the base next door. So we're running at 95. That's trying to pump it up to 101, but we got no nitrogen. We've got oxygen. We've got CO2. We have pollutant. No water in the pollutant. So we just have a quick filter check. No, we didn't do that. Start daily checks. That's good, that's good. Excellent. Right. So we know everything's all tickety-boo there. The pollutant filter is on because I've had the base next door feeding through, so it's minuscule, tiny amount, but we'll leave it on because that's what it's there to do. Empty that. You can see there the trend is dropping. Temperature is good, all's well. Let's go and quickly check here. So we are empty of nitrogen, so I filled this tank up with the little bit I've got left in my tank that comes straight out of the furnace. So probably after this video, I'm going to have to go and do, get hold of some nitrogen, get lots of it. You see there's only, what, 477 kPa, and that's why the temperature's dropping rapidly. So that'll drop down, that'll take the little bit of nitrogen out of there. Might be enough for the base. Might not, but it's not a big issue where it's running at 95 kPa, that's fine. So all's good on this side of the base. I keep forgetting those automatic. So we don't, we're not going to go and do anything over there. So as we come down here, we're going to turn lights off up there. Right, let's get ourselves ready to go next door. So we're going to need, let's grab some food. We've got some bars over there, but we'll just fill ourselves up. Some food, some water. No, there was something I was going to take across that I needed. I can't remember. Don't you just hate that, folks? I'm like, it was important. What was it? Did I want to take a gas sensor? I think, yes, I did want to take a gas sensor. There's just a little test I want to do. Have we got enough? Because we've gas sensors on this one. No, is it on this one? Gas. Well, blow me down with a feather. I thought it was on an electronics printer. Am I searching for the right thing? There we go. Yep, we got it. Yeah, there's a little experiment I want to do because we're going to be doing the basics on logic gates. And something I read is that if an input on a logic gate is greater than 0, then it's considered true. So is 0.05 considered greater than 0 with these logic chips? That's what, well, we might find out. We might, but I'm not going to be able to find out if this is not over there. Okay, so that's flashing. We've got upstairs, we're all good. Right.
Oxygen critical.
I know. What is our suit doing? Yeah, all our filters are good, battery's good, yeah. Okay, look at that beautiful airlock. So I'm just playing around with some design ideas, you know, on Mars, make it easier to see from space or low orbit. One thing I have done in here since we were last here is I've connected this light up to the airlock. There are another 1, 2, 3 to go. Probably once I get inside the base, I might quickly run up and do those. No, we don't need to do those. Those are not on the priority list. So the base inside is pressurized up to 30 kPa, so we're just going to wait for that. I'm going to let it run the cycle. Normally I'd cancel pressurize, but I just want to make sure that the battery can keep up with us, up the trickle charge rate a little bit. I think I might do more, because while we're working in here, we might have to charge batteries. And I think 120 watts, it might not keep up with us, but we'll see. So there we are, we're 27, so it's going to make a noise when I take my helmet off. It is critical, however, we are getting no more warnings, and I'm not dying. So let's, oh yeah, we've got to keep the helmet on for light. And let there be light, there we go. So what do we got that on, 120? It's at 96, okay, so we'll keep a little eye on that. It's not a lot. I might just bump this up to 130. There we go. Right, so I always keep this door shut just in case we have an emergency and I depressurize. And now, a look at my new base inside. I love it. This is, the other two bases are always put up in a rush and they look like a box and there's really no design to them at all. Whereas this base, I really want to make it look just something different, you know, not just a square box. Even if the things aren't functional, it's just to make it different. And I put a little bit of artwork there. I don't know, the blue in the sky of Earth and whatever I was thinking when I made it that color. I don't know. I really don't know. That's going to be for I'm going to be giving you like a how-to on these logic gates, a very basic how-to. I'll talk about that in a second. Don't open this door, that goes outside. And now this area in here, I'm thinking is going to be like kitchen preparation, eating area maybe, or plant splicing, plant laboratory, laboratory. And then this is my greenhouse. I kind of built it, tore it down, because I suddenly started to build it like a square box, and that is not what I want. But that's where the greenhouse is going to go, and they're going to have probably 2, 3 maybe greenhouses for the different plants and their different needs. And I'm thinking maybe over here with this door, I might put the laboratory, not lavatory, the toilet over there. But you can see here again, I'm just playing with designs. It's may not be the most functional thing, but you know, let's just make it look a little bit more interesting than just a square box. So I'll give you a quick run round. So in here is where the battery room is going to be. You can see I've started the electric circuits, still a little bit undecided as to how I'm going to lay them out. And then as we come up here, there will be a wall here. So when you come from the main base, you'll come through this door, say hello, hello, and then there'll be something in here, possibly a storeroom. There's no window, so it's not going to be a bedroom. And then possibly here there'll be more stairs going up. And that sort of void, that's where all cables and pipes are going to run. Maybe not there, maybe that might be a hallway, but definitely up here it's going to be cable runs and pipes, so that if anything happens I can trace things very easily. And same here, this will be cables and pipes. That's the back side of the airlock. can see here, this is where the light is. So what we could do, let's wire. Is that going to go shooting straight out the front? That's going to annoy me. Ooh. So we'll put this one on. Like I say, we can keep them visible. So we're not going to try and hide them down the walls. Normally in old bases I would have put it down through the corners, but we're not this time. We're going to keep them visible. So if anything goes pop, we've got more chance of finding it, folks. So we'll put that one on there, and then something happened, and then we'll connect that on when we get downstairs. Okay, so yeah, these are cable runs, pipe runs, and then up there we'll probably put the filtration tanks and everything up there, out the way, hidden. Right, so that's what I just want to check. This light is, which one did we switch on? It was this one. Yeah, okay. So we now got 2 lights on there. There we go. All light on. There we go. So that's done. So now we're not going to go out now. So without further ado, let's get you over here. Set up the cameras. I'll put you on here. 3 lights and 2 batteries. How did I work that maths out? You can tell I was really good at maths at school. Did I think there was another battery in here? I must have done. Huh. I'm sure I made another battery. How do these do? They give us light. They give us plenty of light. That's good. Did I leave one in charge? No. Right, folks, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over logic gates, but very, very basically. I was going to set them up and then give you examples of what you can use logic gates for. And to be quite honest, the examples you can use are endless. I mean, these things, logic gates, are what your phones and memories and computers are made of. You know, it's endless what these things can do, and you can play around with these for days and come up with endless things. So we're just going to talk through the very basics, okay? So with the logic gate, let's turn that on. There we go. Let's turn that off. Okay. Right, folks, so here we are. We have some light. Let's go. Let's get this to and. Right, so in this video, we're going to do a very, very basic as to what the logic gates do. Okay, the whys are just, the sky's the limit. Your phones, your computers, everything digital has logic in it, and it's all down to binary. It's digital. And binary is 1s and 0s. Okay, so that's the signal it sends. So 1 is true and 0 is false. So we're going to start with the AND gate, and like I said, we're just very, very basic thing as to what they are and what they do, why they do it, and what we can do with it. I think I will set up some examples another time because that's going to take quite some building. So the first one we're going to start with is the AND gate. And what does the AND gate do? Well, most logic gates have 2 inputs and 1 output. So what the AND gate does, when both inputs are at 0, the output is 0. And when the output is 1, this light will light up. When one of these inputs is 1, the output is 1. So when you've got 0 and 1, the output is 1, and vice versa. So we've got 1 there, 0 there, still 0. Now with the AND gate, to turn on an AND gate to make the output true, both inputs must read 1. They must both be true. Okay, If any one of these are at 0, you'll get nothing. And if both of them at 0, you'll get nothing. So the AND gate switches on when both inputs read 1. Okay? So let's move on to the next one, which is the XOR. I'm just trying to make sure I've got it.
Hydration critical.
Now you tell me. Right, I'm going to hold that thought, folks. We'll come back to that. There we go. A little bit of water. Lovely. I'll take a slurp of coffee at the same time. Okay, so I'm just looking at my list here. So that's the AND gate. So now we're going to move on to the opposite of an AND gate, and it's called a NAND gate. Okay, so basically this is an AND gate with an inverter on the back end which reverses what an AND gate does. So in this one, with an AND gate, if both values are 0, the output will be 1, the opposite to an AND gate. If any one of these are 1, the light will still be on, and vice versa. Okay, so 0, 1, light. And then if both of these are on, it's off. So it's the reverse, complete opposite of an AND gate. So with an AND gate, both inputs had to be on for it to switch on. With a NAND gate, any one of these inputs can be a 1 or a 0. Okay, only when both of them read 1 will it switch off. Lots of uses for that, lots and lots of uses. And I think I'm going to make a whole, it's probably going to be a series of videos because there's so many uses you could do this. This is a computer, you know. You've got the IC chips where you're programming. This is the mechanical way of doing it. All right. No, we want to keep that. So let's move on to the next one, which was an OR. There we go. Okay, so with an OR gate, if both inputs are 0, the output is 0. But if any input has a 1, or both inputs have a 1, it'll read 1. So if there is a 1 anywhere in the equation, it'll turn on. Only when there's zeros will it turn off. Okay, so that's a very simple one. Now where it gets a little bit, not on this one actually, no. So obviously the opposite to that is a NOR gate. So it's exactly the same as an OR gate with an inverter. So it does, if you like, completely the opposite. What are we on? No, I'm getting confused because there is an xnor. Hang on, sorry, what's that? NOR. Okay, so let me just tick this one off. We've done OR and OR. So, not OR means that if value is 0 and the value is 0, so you've got 0 on the input, 0 on the input, you'll get 1 on the output. And if any of these read 1, that light will switch off. Boom, like that, and vice versa. Boom, like that. If both of these read 1, the light will stay off. The only time the light comes on is if both of these are 0. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that could be quite handy if you were setting up sensors to detect pollution and volatiles. So if you had a sensor for pollution or a sensor for volatiles, if any one of these are 1 or both, the doors, you could set it up so the doors shut, whatever. Okay, right, so that's the NOR. Now we get into, what are we going to go next? The XOR. Okay, now it gets a little bit funky. A little bit funky, folks. So with the XOR gate, if both are reading 0, both inputs are reading 0, the output will be 0. If one of these inputs is 1, the output will be 1, and vice versa. So if that's reading 1 and that's reading 0, the output will 1. However, if both of these are reading 1, it'll be 0. A little bit funky there. Again, lots of uses you could use that for, and I will do a list for us. And then you have the xnor, and the xnor is basically an XOR gate with an inverter at the back. So whatever the XOR gate did, this will do the complete opposite. So if both of these are 0, you'll get a 1. If any one of these are 1, you'll get a 0. So 1, 0, there. Now, if both of these are 1, you'll get a 1 on the output, just like that. And there's so many uses you could put this to. You could really make up some fun designs, and I think I'm going to look forward to putting up some examples. I was going to do it today, but it is, I could, didn't want to do that. We could be here for hours going through it. And so what I'm going to do is set up a dedicated something somewhere and just show you some examples of maybe some complicated examples that you could use this for with just a couple of logic gates. It's really, it'll boggle your mind and you'll have a lot of fun with it. But certainly when I started with these logic gates, I was scratching my head just thinking, you know, what do they each do? So this is my video for you folks, just a very basic intro into what they do. Now also something I'm going to show you what I've done on this time is, you'll also notice when you see people put chips down on walls, they absolutely just surround them with wires. And they do that just for ease. But if you notice with these logic chips particularly, you've got powers there, data's there, data there, data at the bottom. Now this is the input data, output data, and power, logic gate power. So this middle one is your output. So there's no reason for this one to be connected to this or this, and there's no reason for this to be connected to this or this. But with this one, they needed a couple more because it's got the power there and the output there. So the output needed for the light and the power needed for the light and the chip. Now, why is it better to do it this way? It's a little bit more time consuming, but it just means when you want to read, get the input sorted for this, there is only one input on this chip, and that's the logic gate. If you had that spider's webs of cables all over the place, you'd be reading probably logic gates, dials, everything, light. And when you get into a big base and you're looking at one chip, it's a real scrum, and it's much the same as what my base is on the other side. But this base, I want to take my time. There's going to be data circuits, power circuits, bus lines, whereas my other bases were all set up in a hurry, and they were progressive builds, so I didn't start from scratch like I have here, where I've got a blank canvas and I can fit everything in. It's pretty much finished, the building. The other buildings have been added onto and added onto and added onto, so you know, I haven't seen the end result. So that's just a very, very basic overview of what the gate units do. I hope that's helped you, and definitely it's inspired me to try and come up with some great examples in the next, it might not be in the next video, but I will definitely do a follow-up video to this one where I can give you some really, really juicy examples of how to get these logic gates working for you and automating your base without, I mean, obviously if you know the IC code does it all for you. You don't have to worry. But if you're struggling with IC programming, I absolutely know nothing about it, but I can get my head around these gate units. I can do that, and I'll show you how I do that with some examples in an upcoming video. So this is my base. So thank you very much for watching, folks. I hope you have a really good day, and as always, keep it easy.